Ladies, the fitness industry has been lying to you for decades, and I am done watching women waste time, money, and energy on bad fitness advice. So today, I'm breaking down the 9 most common myths that everyone still seems to fall for and sharing the truth you need to hear to get real results. Let's get into it. Number 1, for women supplements. Do a quick search on the internet and you will find hormone powders, fat burners, and detox tummy teas everywhere. And don't even get me started on for women protein powders. The supplement industry loves slapping pink labels on a product and simply labeling it for women. It sounds empowering until you realize that it's often just a marketing tactic designed for women to pay more for the exact same formula. Let's take creatine, for example. This one blew my mind when I saw it on social media the other day. We all know that creatine is incredibly beneficial when it comes to fitness, but this creatine product versus this one, same dose, same ingredients, just a different label. And shock horror, designed for women. Yes, of course, women are not small men, but the dose of specific supplements really does depend on body weight and your goals, not your gender. Now, this obviously isn't just in fitness supplements. This isn't everything, and it's really from beauty standards when we think about it. When it comes to women, we pay a lot of money for fitness and wellness and beauty. Research also shows that on average, you can pay from 7 to 13% more for the exact same product if it's specifically labeled for women. Just make sure that you're buying the plain version. If you do purchase these products, you're likely just paying the pink tax and not really just getting the best option for you and your goals. Number 2, toning workouts. Scrolling through social media, you'll find endless toning routines promising lean, sculpted arms, a flat stomach, and pretty much anything labeling you won't get bulky. But the truth is that toning isn't a training style. It's not even really an outcome. It's a marketing word designed to sell you a beauty standard and to grow someone else's Instagram following as well. Toning isn't a real thing. You can't tone a muscle. A muscle will only get bigger or smaller, stronger or weaker. Whenever I see someone use these marketing words like toning or sculpting or burning, to me, it makes me question whether they actually know what they're talking about. I wish more women realized that toning is simply a process of building muscle and then going through a fat loss phase to make that muscle more visible. You don't hit save on a toning workout. Lie number 3, the old 8-week shred challenge. If you're on your 10th challenge and you're still not happy with the body that you have to live 365 days in, you really do have to look in the mirror and ask yourself the hard questions. Like, is this approach serving me well? This one absolutely destroys the fitness industry because they really do paint such unrealistic expectations when it comes to results. And look, the internet loves a dramatic before and after photo, but what you're not seeing is the true timeline between those two photos or all the crash diets and extreme training and the rebound that came afterwards. One thing I notice a lot is that coaches and even fitness influencers use the same before and after photos on repeat. Like, if you've not had any other clients after that, everyone shows you the 1% that goes through the extreme nature to finish these extreme challenges. They don't show you the 99% of people that don't make it to the end or quit. As soon as the challenge ends or the diet is over, a lot of people just throw the towel in. They haven't had a sustainable, consistent process to know how to navigate life's normal transitions. Challenges attract people who are at the start of their journey, and they likely don't have the foundational habits or the foundational muscle mass underneath to be truly happy and content for when they go through these fat loss phases. Number 4, spot reduction. Let's talk about this one because it floats around everywhere. I even see people put those like wraps around their stomach and do cardio with like their cream, and they think that they're going to shred their core or lose all this abdominal body fat. But the truth is, you cannot spot reduce when it comes to body fat. You just can't burn body fat from one place. Your body does not work like that. And where we tend to lose and gain body fat is highly dependent on your genetics, not the workout, diet plan or protocol that you're following. And we've all seen it before. Melt belly fat or these ridiculous like arm workouts to get long, lean arms. People spend decades believing this BS, spending all their time, energy, money, and sacrificing their mental health. And don't even get me started on the comparison cycle that so many women fall into. So this sort of advice is absolutely damaging. Like, if anyone drops a discount code with one of these things, you know it's complete BS. There's even a lot of clinics that pop up where they pretend to, like, I don't know, put this ultrasound over and break down body fat, and At what lengths are we going to just not diet? Like some people, the reality is you just have to diet harder and longer to be able to lose the body fat from the areas that you want. I personally store a lot of body fat on my lower abdomen and my lower body, and that's pretty common for a lot of women as well. Estrogen makes us hold body fat in those areas for reproductive purposes, etc. Whereas men, they tend to store body fat in different areas. We can't really control where we store body fat or where we lose body fat. We have to go through the same fat loss process, calorie deficit, move more, eat less, etc., to lose body fat as a whole. Lie number 5, light weights to build lean muscles. Now, this myth has become way more popular over the last couple of years since the rise of Pilates. This long, lean muscle myth really does kill me, to be honest. A lot of women are talking about, I stopped lifting heavy and I lost body fat, my cortisol went down, or I started Pilates and my muscles changed shape. Again, a lot of this is true to them because it's their experience, of course, but it's not what the research says. What are the principles of resistance training? What are the principles of progressive overload? What does it mean to make sure that I'm resting and not burning myself out so my body can recover and respond? All of these things are principles that we have to come back to. So if you ever see anyone encouraging using light weights for the purpose of changing your body, definitely question it. You will never, ever, ever, ever get too muscular from lifting weights, I promise you. And a lot of the women that you see online where perhaps you look at them and go, ooh, I don't want to look like that, they're likely using performance-enhancing drugs to look that way, especially when it comes to the bodybuilding industry. To say that you're going to achieve a look like that, it's almost insulting to them because they work incredibly hard. But again, it's physiologically likely impossible to build too much muscle. The reality is that you probably have more body fat covering that muscle, and that's what's making you feel bigger than what you would like. Lie number 6, your metabolism is slow. I'm going to be sensitive with this one because I know that there is a lot of people out there really struggling. People love to point the finger at their metabolism when fat loss stalls, but unless you actually have been diagnosed with a condition where perhaps your thyroid is on the lower side, the reality is that daily activity, muscle mass, and eating habits are far bigger issues. Your metabolism is not broken, and it's also not the reason for most people's weight gain, right? The truth is that if we're gaining weight, we're simply just eating more calories than what our body needs. Yes, your metabolism can slow down and adapt if you're constantly trying to diet, but that is likely due to a poor strategy and not your biology. A lot of people do assume that genetics or age is the main limiter here when it comes to your metabolism slowing down. But there actually is a lot of research now to disprove that belief. It's not about our age or our biology, it's actually more about our lifestyle. Naturally, as we age, we take on more responsibility and we have a more sedentary lifestyle. So we're simply not burning as many calories. When you were a teenager, I want you to think about how active you were. Right? You were always running around outside. You were likely playing sport on the weekend, and hopefully you weren't sitting at a desk for 9 hours of the day with a sedentary job as a teenager as well. And the truth is that many people actually do significantly underreport how many calories they're eating on a daily basis. Even trained professionals have been known to underreport their calories by up to 50% without even realizing it. So the fact is that if you think you're eating 1,200 calories, and you're not losing weight, perhaps you could be underestimating how much you're actually eating. And in a world where calories are abundant, it's highly palatable, which means that it's hard to stop. I mean, like, who stops at like one square of chocolate? No one. It is quite hard from a habit perspective to make sure that we are eating the right amount of calories, especially if our activity level has gone down. If we believe that our metabolism can break or can slow down, it can be quite damaging because it's going to lead you to believe that you can do nothing about it. We have had so many women that come to us for coaching who have been in a very similar position where even over the last decade or so, they just haven't been able to shift their body weight or their body composition. Don't keep soldiering on, don't keep just cutting calories, and definitely don't continue just being frustrated with yourself. Seek out support from a professional who can help you work through it. I actually broke down how to make sure you're setting up a fat loss phase properly in one of my earlier YouTube videos called The 5 Fitness Mistakes. Lie number 7, detox teas, juice cleansers, and resets. Social media influencers make an absolute fortune selling you these reset diets or juice cleansers, but your body already has an incredible detox system built in. It's called your liver and your kidneys. There's a lot of incredible things just through nature, drinking more water or going for more walks or getting better sleep. Like all of these things are encouraging your natural body to detox using your liver and your kidneys. You don't need to pay a heap of money for supplements. If someone's promoting one of these juice cleansers, what's in it for them? 9 times out of 10, it's all just BS. Lie number 8, the cures sold to menopausal women. Cures, as I say. But one thing that's really important to remember is menopause isn't a death sentence for your results. A lot of people put a lot of fear-based content out there about how your metabolism slows down, you can't build muscle, your sleep's compromised, like everything ends when you hit menopause. And that is simply not true. We have so many incredible women in their 40s and 50s inside coaching that absolutely crush, honestly. They put some of us in our 30s to shame. Like just because you're going through this transitional period in life, which Mother Nature built in for a reason, it does not mean that your physical progress has to suffer. It just means that things have to look different, your expectations have to change, and potentially your strategy has to change along the way too. Fear-based marketing targets menopausal women with expensive powders, restrictive diets, and hormone balancing supplements. A lot of people are getting into this menopausal market because they do know that these women are in pain, they've never had answers when it comes to their fitness, and they know that they have the money to spend. And it's actually like manipulation when you think about it. And one thing I say a lot to our clients that are going through this transition is it's not that you need some specific protocol or a weight vest or a low carb diet. It's just that you need to come back to the basics, make sure your foundation is rock solid, and readjust the approach that we're taking. Lie number 9, you shouldn't lift heavy during your period. Ladies, just because you have your period, it doesn't mean you can't train hard or lift heavy weights, right? In order to build muscle and get stronger in the gym, we need to have progression in our training. If you're changing your training program every 3 or 4 weeks or not applying progressive overload every 3 or 4 weeks, you're actually stunting your own progress. Now, just because you don't feel like it doesn't mean that you're not physically capable of doing it. A lot of the research does support that your strength and your ability does not change simply because you're bleeding. Of course, if you've got endometriosis or PCOS or some sort of severe symptoms that are impacting you physically, of course you need to listen to your body and pull back. But that's not the fear-based marketing and advice that's being thrown around on the internet. Very big brands are promoting cycle syncing and following this like yoga Pilates approach in like week 4 of your cycle. It's not necessary. Like you can absolutely still lift heavy and hard and apply progressive overload and recover really well, even if you're on your period. The best thing you absolutely can do is listen to your body and use yourself as an experiment. When you go to the gym on your period, you might not feel like it, but I want you to try and push yourself just a little bit and see if you're capable of it. So listen to your body, but don't get in your head, because the placebo effect is very real. So these are my top 9, but honestly, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. So let me know, which one would you add to my list? Because I know there is so many more out there. Honestly, this is just scratching the surface. But I wanted to cover off the 9 most relevant ones that I see pop up all of the time.